getting ready to go out to dinner, I guess on a date. And yeah, I don't know very much about this guy. Just talked to him a little bit online and had a phone conversation with him, and he's like, you want to meet for dinner? And he wants to do Filipino food, so I said, yeah, let's go. So yeah, I'm gonna let one of my local friends know what restaurant we're at, because they said if things go bad, I need you to come and I need you to like save me. He sounds nice, but I'm like, I don't know enough, so I'm driving myself and I'm getting ready. I'm almost done. I have to put on my powder and then figure out what I'm gonna wear on top of this. But yeah, my main thing is I'm going to get a free dinner, going to eat, and then if he happens to be a nice person, then it'll be nice to have someone to talk to. So anyways, I will check in when I get back. Okay, so after date check-in. So yeah, so we had Filipino food at Encinitas, and it was like a really cute little restaurant. Food was great. I had pancit and lumpia, which is all you need. And he ended up getting like some spare ribs, and we just shared food. And yeah, like it went okay. The conversation was like fine. There are a couple of things that give me pause. And you know, yeah, there's some things that I'm like, you know, I need more information. So from now, I think, you know, he basically tried to ask me out again. He wanted me to go to like a concert with him, and I kind of was like, I have some friends that want to get together to like celebrate my birthday next week, and I was just like, let me get back to you on that, and we're gonna all check schedules and stuff. And like right now, I just feel like I'm not really like feeling like going to a concert unless I really want to go, and I just don't feel like going to that concert. So I don't know. So we'll see what happened. He was like, okay, well, since you're in town, you want to get together? And so I just said, yeah, sure. So I had like really no attachments. I was just hoping that we could like talk. So we did bond on like working out and breathwork class and cold plunging and stuff like that. That was good. I learned a lot about his last relationship. So, but because I asked, and I was like, he was like, oh, I don't want to get into it. And I said, well, you might as well just talk to me now. So, you know, I was looking for key things in those stories. I'm sure I didn't get the whole story. There's a couple of things that give me pause. So on my end, but you know, I mean, nice enough. But yeah, I mean, at least it's practice. It gave me good practice today to the whole dating scene. So overall, I mean, it was fine, and we just had dinner. We got there at 6:30 and we were gone by 8:30. So yeah, so that's about it. Hey guys, so it's been a minute since I have done a freaking vlog, like not somewhere in the desert or in the middle of nowhere, but I just got done with my cold plunge class, and I think today is going to be my first day recording a podcast. It's just going to be me, but I'm excited. I really should have done it yesterday. However, I think I purposely put it off, and I think it's some of those negative thoughts of like, oh, can I really do this? Is it worth it? Because I don't have my phone holder. I broke it, so I have to see if I have my other one. I used to have another one. Anyways, it's been a moment. So anyways, so I'm going to I'm going to record something today no matter what. And I was telling myself today during breathwork class that I just need to just do it, and it's not going to be perfect. It's just like all of my videos. They're not perfect, but they're me. So I'm fine with it. Yesterday I sat and I watched a bunch of my vlogs from over the past like year, and it was just kind of funny just kind of seeing my body transform, but also like the crazy things that I've gone through this year, and especially like relationships or lack of relationships. But I just thought it was funny to just kind of watch and be like, oh, I remember that period. I remember what I was thinking. And I'm watching and I'm like, no, this guy is not it. Like, why did you do this? Like, I'm like screaming at myself I'm watching myself. It's so funny. Like, I know it's going to happen because it happened to me, but I'm like, God, I wish I should have just stopped talking to this person like right then, like exactly right then. But no, I kept going. I kept saying, oh, but this, but that, but this. Anyway, I also wanted to go for like a little hike or something. I don't know. So many options. I'm like, but do I really feel like driving far? because I don't want to like walk by the beach because everyone's by the beach. So I'd probably go to the desert, and I'm like, should I go to the desert? But then that's going to take away from my time of recording and doing the podcast and kind of messing with the whole Riverside software thing and figuring out how that works. So I need to get Tashai scheduled for our podcast. I actually need to respond to her polo. I think she poloed me a couple days ago. But anyways, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Also kind of tidy up my room. It's a little bit of a mess. And then I'm going to start, because I have one more week of work and then I'm on vacation for almost 3 weeks. And so I figured I need to figure out like what I'm going to do during that time and kind of have a couple of options. And also I love to do holiday stuff. So I want to find holiday stuff that I've never done so I can go and participate and get into the holiday spirit. So anyways, that's kind of what I'm doing this Sunday. And I ate some fajita mix yesterday that I got like a frozen kind, and there's no meat in it. I cooked my own meat and it was really good, but every time I eat onions I get a bad belly, and I have a bad belly this morning, so it was kind of rough during cold plunging. But other than that, I am so ready for vacation. I'm so ready to just unplug and do my goal planning, record a couple of my new podcasts. I already have a couple lined up already, but it's going to be good to have some fresh ones, and so looking forward to it. And then fitness wise, I'm doing okay. I think I said technically like I weighed in today a little higher than I have been recently, like 2 pounds heavier. I think a lot of it's because I'm not drinking enough water, that I am. And then I also need to retest my body fat, because my trainer's like, I think you dropped more body fat than what I actually weighed in at, and he's like, your water is like way down in like your body water. So he's like, I think you should do it again. So I'm gonna hydrate and do it again and see what it says. Yeah, so I'm thinking about doing all of those things, and if I go on a walk, I'll probably message you guys. I was thinking of going out to the desert and going on one of the trails that they have. That's a national, I think it's like a national trail. I think that's the designation. I don't know, but we'll see what Hey guys, what's up? So I am going to give you guys an update on everything that's going on in my life. As you can see, I am not in my daily glamour. It is Sunday, and I just have not been feeling like doing a whole lot this weekend. I can't believe it, but I was out of town last weekend when I went to Death Valley, and so I just want to get you guys caught up on everything that's been happening. After I went to Death Valley, I ended up going to Jersey Mike's. And so there's a clip in my last video where I was talking about how my stomach was really hurting, and I had to I had to stop and go to the bathroom at the gas station, and I went home and my tummy was still bothering me. Well, I continued to have like a gurgly belly that night and had a really bad belly on Sunday. Like going to work on Monday but not feeling 100%. I ate really light that day, and then on Tuesday morning, I woke up and my stomach was still like feeling gurgly and just not quite right. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I will just, try to like sit here or lay here in bed for a little bit. And then maybe once I get up, I'll start feeling good. So like I sat up, and then like my stomach kind of just sloshed around and it just felt gurgly. And so I ended up just calling out sick, and I like legitimately was like, I just need to stay home. My stomach hurts really bad. Once I did that, I just went back to sleep until I think about like 11 o'clock or noon. And then I decided that I was going to get up and go grab an acai bowl, because I thought that would be like, nice and light, and it was healthy, and maybe my stomach just needed a little bit more food in it, because I really have been eating really, really light recently. I was like, oh, maybe my stomach just wants a little bit more in it. So I ended up going and getting my acai bowl, and I ate like half of it in the parking lot. And then I was like, okay, I think I'm going to go home now, because I feel like this may not have been a good decision. Luckily for me, I brought trash bags just in case, because I was feeling like I was going to throw up, and I was right. So as soon as I started driving and moving, then I got nauseous, and then I started throwing up in the car on the way back home. I'm just driving down the road, just puking my brains out. So I ended up making it back home, and it's just like, that, like, I don't know if you guys get that feeling, but when you get that feeling in your stomach, like you're going to throw up, like I get really hot and kind of like dizzy. And then I just like feel like it's all going to come up. And it was just like the worst feeling in the world, but luckily I was prepared for it. I ended up just going back home and just kind of settling in for the rest of the day, and didn't really eat a whole lot. I ended up ordering groceries, and I just got some crackers and some broth to have. And then eventually I ended up going out and getting Pepto-Bismol just to settle my stomach down so I could go to work the next day. And so that seemed to help a little bit. And so pretty much for the rest of the week, I really haven't been 100% energy wise. I was working out on Friday, and it just felt dizzy. And I just told my trainer, I was like, I'm normally would just push through this. I said, but I'm feeling really lightheaded right now. And I said, and I think I'd like to do some workouts on a mat. I think that might be safer. So we ended up doing that, and that worked out fine. But I went and I worked out on Wednesday, and that was a freaking miracle in itself. And all I had that day were just like a handful of crackers and a couple of sips of Pellegrino, and that was pretty much it. So I ended up eating a potato, I think, for dinner that night. I didn't eat a whole lot. I think the most food I've eaten has been this weekend. And so I've just been trying to get back in it. I've been really MIA from our hot tub club group on Marco Polo. So I've been very absent. As you can see behind me, my Christmas tree is already decorated. I ended up decorating my Christmas tree a week before Thanksgiving. That's not the norm. I usually do it on Thanksgiving night. Thank God I did, because I've just been in and out of like feeling, either I had stomach issues or I've been having sinus stuff going on, or it's just been a little bit of a mess the past couple of weeks. So it definitely feels like Christmas again. Oh, I don't think I told you guys. Oh my God. We have not talked about me going on a date. Okay. So I've been so out of the loop with you guys because I've been doing all my national parks trip that I actually haven't done like a sit down, this is what's happening in my life moment. So a couple of weeks ago, I can't even recall, sometime in November, there was a guy that was on one of the dating sites, and he lives in San Diego, and we kind of exchanged a couple messages, and he was just like, I'd like to take you out for dinner. And something in me just said, just go. It's a free meal. He's like, I'll pay. It's my treat. And we'll meet somewhere in between. And so I just said, well, like free dinner. And this guy, I don't know much about him, but we'll see. So I ended up meeting this guy like a couple days later. And yeah, it was fine. Like, he was okay looking, like he wasn't bad looking. He smelled nice, which is like sadly something that you have to like look for nowadays. And, I thought our conversation was going really well. And then he brought up a conversation, and that kind of like tipped my little like spidey senses. And he started talking to me about his last relationship and how, he really thought that this girl, they were talking marriage and stuff like really early, and he really thought this was the person, and that they ended up going on a trip. And so that he kind of went into this dialogue where he kind of talked about like, yeah, but like we broke up, and like we were on an 8-day trip, and we broke up on day 2. And so of course, like my spidey senses is like, I'm gonna ask for more details. And so of course he's like, no, I don't really want to talk about it. It's probably not a good topic to talk about on your first date. And I was like, well, since you brought it up, like, let's talk about it. Like, tell me what happened. So the rest of our day, I'm sitting there eating lumpia. We went and had Filipino food. It was delicious. And I'm sitting there stuffing my face, okay, eating lumpia, and just plates full of food. And he's just telling me about this crazy trip that they went on to Alaska. They went on a cruise, and it was supposed to be super romantic. And then there were just certain things, like little like red flags when so he basically went on this tour, like this cruise with this girl. This is like their first outing, going out. And so basically she got mad on day 2. So I'm thinking like this guy dates black girls. And so I was like, okay, so you guys are on an 8-day cruise, and she basically kicked you out of your guys' room and made you go find another room somewhere else. I said, so evidently you pissed her off, like you crossed a major boundary. So I had to ask more questions, of course. And so this guy just kept talking and telling me stuff. Like, and he was just like, oh, I really shouldn't be talking about this. And I was like, no, tell me, I want to hear the rest. So, you know, basically like he just went too far and she wasn't ready for that. And he was just kind of pressuring her in a way that she wasn't comfortable with. Like, so again, that was like a red flag, that he wasn't respecting like her space and her boundaries. And so she kicked him out of their room. And so he ended up having to go find somewhere else to sleep on the ship. And this is day 2. And then he brought up, there was like, you know, she got some type of message that a pipe burst in her house, and where she lives, she actually works, she's like the property manager there. And so she wanted to basically get off at the next port and fly home to go take care of the problem. And he wasn't really hearing that. Like, he was just like, well, we're already here and there's nothing you can really do about it. She didn't want to hear that. She wanted someone just to like be supportive and just be like, okay, like, yeah, I understand, like, let's go handle this. But he didn't. And so that also pissed her off as well. So it was kind of like this like layer of a story that started like coming out, and just things. I'm like, okay, so he wasn't supportive. He wasn't helping her during this time to just let her vent and just at least let her come down from that like moment. And then he crossed a boundary, and so she kicked him out. It was just so funny. He said, you know, like, you know, it was supposed to be a romantic trip and I spent most of the trip by myself. And then he's brought up that, you know, he had like a couple of drinks, maybe too many, and that he said some things he shouldn't have said. And so then that's like the 3rd strike. And I was just like, okay, like he can't like control his drinking, and he gets like verbally abusive. So this is me in my head. I'm just like, okay, those are 3 things. Those are 3 things. He tells me the whole story and I get the gist of it. And I said, basically, this guy doesn't know when to shut up, and he doesn't know how to respect people's boundaries. That's a huge thing for me. And like, it was a lot. Okay. It was a lot. So basically by the end of the day, I was just kind of like, okay, this guy, like, I could see us like being friends and me kind of coaching him and dating. I don't see us like going past this. And he invited me to go to like a reggae concert, and he asked me to go, and he's like really into reggae, and I'm really not. I already went through my reggae phase. I dated a guy in a reggae band way back in college, and that didn't work out. And I was like, oh, I already know that scene and I don't want to be part of it. So I basically told him I would think about it, and I never got back to him on that. And so the last thing I heard from him is like, he messaged me the next morning, and he was like showing me his leftovers that he ended up, they had some like rice, that special rice, and he ended up making eggs. So he sent me a photo of it, and I was like, oh good, I hope it tastes great, like whatever. And then I just didn't hear from him again. But at least that was one of my goals, was to go on at least one date this year. That was like a push, because I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to just get out there and just go on a date and just to practice. And so I didn't even get that dressed up. I did my makeup, but I was like, I'm coming in jeans and like a flannel. I'm like, literally, that's how I'm coming. I just did not care. And I'm like, if you like me, like me. If you don't, you don't. And, you know, I was comfortable. I got a good meal, and I gave him a hug when we left, and that was about it. And I ended up going home. And the one thing that did bother me, that was like another, like the 4th thing, is usually when I have guys who, like when I go on dates, they normally will wait for me to take off and drive off, and he didn't do that. And so I was like, okay, that's like strike 5 again, because I was just like, you know, guys, I've had guys that have waited, and they're like, we want to make sure like you're able to get your car started and that like you're able to drive away and everything's good. So yeah, that was the whole thing. So I ended up talking to like one of my friends on Marco Polo about that. And, you know, basically she was like, no, this guy, no, don't give him any chances. Like, this guy just showed you who he is. Just believe him. And I said, I understand. And so like what we talked about was vibrating higher, that I need to vibrate higher for the type of guys, because that's somebody I would just like date just to kind of have someone to spend time with and see if something develops. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that I would just tolerate, and someone I would just go out with because like they were interested. I may not have been that interested, but I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can grow to like this person. I'm not going to do that anymore. And so it just kind of reminded me like, no, I need to vibrate, be in a higher frequency for what I want, and really say no to the people who are not aligning on that, which he definitely wasn't. So it was just something to think about. And I looked at my list of things that I want in a partner, and I am really focusing on that. And I'm just like, you know, I just need to find a person who's kind of in like, who vibrates a little bit higher than me, so that I have to match that. And that we both are kind of on the same page, you know, and then somebody who likes to like, you know, travel and go to national parks and hike and be in nature and things like that, like the stuff I like. So I want somebody who likes the things that I like, but also isn't so much like me that they have other things that are better. Like they have other qualities that are amazing and different. So anyways, yeah. So just kind of trying to figure out like, you know, my expectation for a date or the type of people that I'm willing to date. Like, you know, how do I want to be treated, and like what are the things I'm looking for. And then my thing that I'm really practicing is like nipping things in the bud quickly and not letting things prolong for a long time. That's something I've been struggling with. It's just giving people too many chances, and I need to be like, no, 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 because it's bringing my attention away from focusing on finding the right person, and time's running out. So I just feel like this was a great exercise for me, but I'm also looking for like a higher quality guy to go out with. That is super fun. And I don't know if this guy that I'm talking to is yet. I don't know. We've have some common things, but not quite sure. So we'll see. I'll give this guy maybe a couple days to ask for my phone number, and then if not, then I will just kind of be like, you know, it just seems like you want a pen pal and I don't want to be a pen pal, and so, you know, good luck to you. So anyways, that's kind of been a little bit of my life recently, has just been all of that. But I forgot, I think I have clips from my date, and I think I'll put it in this video if I can remember. But yeah, the date, it was a lot. But I honestly didn't care. Like, I honestly did not care. Usually I'm like kind of nervous before I go on a date. I just did not give a crap about anything. And I was like, well, my shirt's still kind of wrinkly. Well, whatever, I'm just gonna go. I'm just like, it's a lot. I think probably for me, it would be nice to find somebody to go out on a date, at least when I'm on break. Just go on one really good date with a high quality person and see what happens. Also, like, my skin's been having a lot of moments with my skin. So I'm working on that. I just remembered I've been using a lot of like the prescription strength stuff that my dermatologist has been giving me, and I think it's too much for my skin. So I think I'm gonna go back to the ordinary, because I feel like my skin texture and everything has been much better. So anyways, that's kind of what my life's been looking like. It's been like a little crazy. Hopefully in the next video I will have some amazing trip that I'm on, or like amazing adventure. But right now I'm just kind of hunkering down to try to feel better and get through to next week, and then I will be on vacation for almost 3 weeks, which will be amazing. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you stay up to date. You never know where I'm going to be next. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.